Resellers and resale buyers, unite! You have arrived exactly where you want to be. Welcome to Rags to Resale. And now, your hosts, my mom and dad, Megan and Tim Morris.
Oh, thank you, Riley. Riley, thank you so much. Our 12-year-old introduces us so beautifully every time we do a podcast, right?
Well, yes, because you wrote her a script.
I know. I don't want her to ad-lib because we have no idea what she would say if we did that.
It's very true.
All right. We got to get down to business. Welcome to Rags to Resale.
Welcome.
Episode 17. We have so much to talk about, including...
I'm so excited about this.
Right. A special guest, Juliet Spine, is going to talk about social media. She is the main part of our show today. And really what that is all about is about growth, right? Poshpro_Megan on Poshmark. Poshpro_Tim on Poshmark.
Poshpro Megan on Whatnot.
Yes, growth for us this year is going to mean doing some shows on Whatnot. We love Poshmark. We're going to stay on Poshmark.
Yes.
But we're going to talk more about this later. But Whatnot, we're just trying to expand our business, expand our audience, and that's what we're all trying to do, right?
Yeah.
And that's what 2025 is all about. And this woman that we met, Juliet's Finds, right?
Yes.
Who we met at PoshFest, is just spectacular. She is the bomb on social media, and I think that's kind of one of our weaknesses, right?
Oh, for sure. Although I did have some success from some things Juliet mentioned to me.
Already?
Yeah, I got a little free advice from her,
right.
And I applied that knowledge to Instagram, and I had a few kind of posts blow up.
Right, and this is stuff that she's talked about in our interview. So let's not waste any more time.
No.
Let's introduce
let's
our conversation with Juliet's Finds just a few days ago. And we now welcome our special guest, Juliet Motyka. Juliet, all of us are jealous of anybody who makes it work on social media, and you are the person in our realm that we think of most in that area. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Did you envision that you could be that successful with social media?
I kind of think you have to have a certain level of delusion to really get there. And I definitely was like, I can do this. I saw other influencers, posting themselves. They never said how much they made or did or anything back then, but I was like, I could do this. So I certainly think just believing that you have what it takes, that you can actually do it, is the first step, right? And then, yeah, it really came out of a place of necessity. I was on leave from my job, taking care of my daughter. I have two kids, but my daughter required more care at the time because she wasn't school aged yet. And I got the call from my work, and I didn't take a leave that protected my job, and they fired me. So it was definitely, I had started it before that. So I was so thankful to have it as a place to land when that happened. So it's definitely came from a place of necessity.
You were a resale person though, right? From your youth, you've been somebody who, talk about how it all came about.
Yeah. So when I was young, I always was thrifting with my mom, whether it was yard sales, thrift stores, whatever. Me and my mom actually sold a lot, like through Facebook Marketplace. And then I think we did like a lot of books through half.com, which was either Amazon or eBay beforehand. Bought it.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah. And we would get it all for free and we would sell it. So I did that before college, and then I, went to college, had my fun. And then a couple years after, like, those student loans started coming through, and I started selling things on Poshmark just to get a couple extra bucks, right? And about a year after just like dipping my toes into Poshmark, I got pretty addicted, and I, paid off my student loans, I think within 3 years of doing it.
Wow.
And that's when I really started the thrifting, to resell on my lunch breaks, and the thrifting to make content and stuff like that. It all kind of went hand in hand. That's how I got started reselling. Just again, wanting to pay off bills, right? We all have vacations we want to go on, and it's just not in the budget all the time.
So you're a mommy. How old are your kids?
They are 8 and 9.
Close in age. Okay, so you're a mom, you've got your cutie pies, you're married.
Yes.
Yep, you're married. So you're like typical mama, working your butt off. Your husband is going to work.
Yeah, full-time employee.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
you're dabbling in social media, and let's say a pandemic hits,
Hmm.
as it did. So right around there, you really took off, right? I mean, you were really,
So the pandemic drove me to really take a look at what I was doing with the reselling stuff, and I had a lot of stuff. So, and nothing was open. So I started doing these like live sales through Facebook, a Facebook group, which I still have today. It's kind of almost at like 10,000 people. But back then it grew just by word of mouth, and people wanting to support me. So they shared it with all their friends, and I would do these live sales where I would just hold up something with a number on it. Like my first set of numbers were me like Sharpie drawn on, because I thought this was like a one type show thing.
yeah.
And it went on to continue for like 3 to 5 months, I think. I would do these live sales, and I completely burnt myself out. But with greatness comes like great work. So, that's what I did just right after the pandemic. But it really got me thinking about how it felt to interact with a community on that level. And so I really got the itch for having that community and trying to like cultivate it in different ways. And I think that's how sharing the thrifting and the reselling tips and everything was the route I took when I did start posting on social media like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I just started sharing what I knew best. Um,
I think you do that really, really so well. In terms of just engagement, you really find I mean, I followed Juliet. She finds a way to engage people. I need your help was the most recent one I've seen. I need your help. I'm going to this party, and I need to know what dress to wear. She's always asking opinions. It really makes people feel like a friend, right? Like
mhm.
you trust them. You're going to go with their answer. You're very engaged with them. She leans into the camera. You lean back. I find myself leaning into your videos and going, yeah, I'm with you, girl. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I know you met our friend Darcy. She's at Citizen Darcy on
Hmm.
Poshmark. She's huge on Poshmark. I mean, people absolutely love her show. She just fangirled when she saw you.
I know.
And she was like, Julie. And
That
I was
was
like,
like one of
oh,
the highlights from Posh Fest for me, because she had commented on a Facebook comment.
yeah.
And somebody, usually a larger creator, isn't going to see those comments, but for some reason, I was able to see her comment, and just the little picture that I get to go off of.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, oh, I just knew it when I saw her that was her. Because she had said, I hope I get to see you. And I was like, absolutely. And then I got a chance to talk to her at your like after party that you had
Yeah.
after one of the days of the conference, and she's just a delight.
She's a
That's
delight.
one of the cool things, and we have this little community around us for our shows, and a lot of the same people, hundreds of the same people, in your case, thousands of the same people come back to you. And building a community, as far as Poshmark goes, they're very big in obviously PFFs and everybody supporting one another, and we're all about all of that. But I guess a big question for me would be like, how does the average posher who isn't somebody who's put 10 years into it start to go down the road to using social media, other platforms, to outside of the platform itself of Poshmark, which there's a lot of things you can do to bring people into your community? What advice would you give?
What can you give away for free
They
is
do it for
always going
free.
to be my top advice, because and people will think like, oh, like a coffee mug, what? No. We all hold such individual knowledge in our brains. And like I told you, when I started posting on TikTok, I wanted to post on TikTok. So I asked myself, what is the thing I know more about than most people?
Mhm.
And most of the people, if they're in the posh world, it's going to be Poshmark. And what you have to remember is the 1,000 people in your community may know those things, but the 100,000 people waiting for you might not.
Yep.
Mhm.
And what you have to understand, you can talk to your community and be like, did you know this? And you're going to find out that 20% of them didn't. And
Yeah.
you just saved them a headache, or you made them money somehow, and it was just that. So I really try to tell people you can either educate, so give them something for free. It's going to be the theme here. You can inspire or you can entertain. And with those three things, education just comes really easy because people value it, right? They're going to save your post, they're going to comment in appreciation. Entertainment, they might share it with a friend or laugh at it, but it's a really hard space because people are really funny, or people are, really engaging. So sometimes that one's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
And inspiring. How many posters do you see that are just out there saying, keep going, keep listening? And that's a space too. So that's what I tell people. Those three kind of pillars, if you can offer some type of free advice, free guidance, free entertainment, see what you can do there. And they'll exchange that follow for
Right.
whatever you're giving for free.
I love that. I love that. I feel like we try on our shows to inspire just kindness,
Yeah.
because the engagement, being a social app as it is on Poshmark, just kindness kind of blooms and grows,
Mhm.
and that sort of giving back feeling happens naturally when you're kind. And I just think people don't expect it. And I
Yeah.
think you have that in spades. You've got that smile, and you're earnest and you're real. You're honestly, I mean, I know I've met you. This is who you are. And I think
Mhm.
that if you fake that, they can smell it in a second, and it doesn't work. So I think part of it is always just going to be that je ne sais quoi. You have it or you don't.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I think authenticity is what she's talking about. And
yeah,
we talk about that all the time. Like, you can't be somebody else, but you can be your authentic self and be big. I mean, do you feel like that's an important part of your success, like being who you are and sharing the information you do?
Yes. And the biggest compliment I can get when somebody meets me in person, when they say, you are exactly who I thought you
Right.
would be.
it's true.
That's the biggest thing. Do I have bad days? Of course. Am I, but for the most part, this is what I live every day. So it's so easy. And that's going back to that authentic self.
Mhm.
It gets exhausting playing a character on this
Mhm.
app, on these apps. It's just, and if you see some of the people that play characters, like really big social media influencers, they can't undo that.
Right there, that's it forever. Yeah, exactly. I
Exactly.
think on bad days too, bring your bad days to the forefront as well. Right, was it during Posh Fest you had a little incident where people were sort of spamming you or not being nice, and you just took it right to them, and I just admired that so much. You were like, no, you don't get to be mean to me, but you weren't mean back. You were like, here it is.
Yeah.
Here's what happened.
I
And
shared my feelings
interesting
that
and
it was
engaging.
yucky.
Yeah,
It was yucky being a content creator that day because of the comments I got back. It was an outfit that I thought I just nailed.
you
And,
did. It was so cute.
and thank you. But it was 50% of the people just aren't going to think that. And something about the way I approached the whole video, um, it just made them tell me that, which most of the time it doesn't. I don't participate in like clickbait or in rage bait because I truly don't like it. I don't want to be I don't want to be seen in a negative light. I don't want to make people feel negative emotions because ultimately when they see my face, they'll think, ew, and I never want that. So I try to stay away from it, but sometimes like you just stumble upon a controversial topic and it happens to you and you're like, I didn't mean to do that. And I think it was all over who was on my shirt, that ended up being the reason that people got so angry in a very political way. And I didn't even know that I didn't even know. I was so oblivious to it all, which made it okay, in my eyes. But yeah, and I just answered back with, hi, had a shitty day, right?
Yeah,
Um,
great. It was perfect.
but we need to just change that and spread kindness. Drop some kindness down in the comments. I'll try and follow you back or share something or like some of your stuff too.
This is something I've always wanted to ask somebody who's a inspired content creator. Like, do you constantly on a day-to-day basis feel this incredible pressure to like do something or do something good or do something? Maybe it's a little different with you because you're giving information, but it's like a beast that you can never fully feed. I would feel like if I was like into social media all the time, or does it just come when it comes, or do you have a plan, or how does that work for you?
I have always told people go with what is pulling you. Don't be pushed into anything. And if you feel like social media and the way you're doing it is a push, then find your flow. There's a flow for everybody in social media. So the way what I would say to the person that feels that, like, oh, I have to show up on social media today, and not because they just don't look good or whatever, but they truly aren't feeling it anymore. I would say your content needs to change then to reflect more what aligns with you and your values and how you want to show up every day. Because I wake up in the morning and I think about what can I create today. And the 12 hours that TikTok was down, I felt so void of creativity. It was depressing.
Yeah.
So I think I see social media as something just such a gift to my creative self that I don't have that. And I'm lucky. But I do say if you have it, try and figure out if you can create different content that feels better, you
Yeah.
know?
That's great. That's great advice. And you are, speaking of advice, with Juliet Socially, you have some consulting arm, right? Are you helping some people? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so reselling has always been such an awesome lever I've been able to pull. When I want money, I resell. And it's afforded me to have the ability to post on social media before I got monetized, right? I was just doing it for free for a while, promoting my closet, whatever. And then now it's allowed me to jump to social media, to jump to helping other people start their social media journeys. So I started Juliet Socially. I've helped a handful of other poshers, and they've done really well with it. And I just love working with them. And then I got the opportunity to help like small and local businesses in my area. So I've been ramping up that consulting as well. And it's just been really, it feels really good. So yeah, I try to help like the underdog, the small guy. And just help them come up with a strategy around social media and to find that flow, because it's really important that if this is literally another arm of your business is the social media, which it should be because it's free for right now. It won't always be free. That's
Right.
what we have to realize. We need to capitalize on this free advertising, because it will go away. They will put these things behind paywalls eventually, probably within the next 10 years, but we capitalize on it now, grow your business now, retire early. I don't care what you do with it. But yeah, just helping those businesses realize that additional arm needs some attention and care and how it can really help you have an extra arm, like to move in your business.
If
So
people want to reach out to you about that, how do they reach you? Is there a website, or how do they do it?
you can always message me. If you follow me through Juliet's Finds, you can message me through there. I also have Juliet Socially on all the platforms that I give daily, mostly weekly tips. I've been trying to find my flow with the social media content, but I try to give tips on social media basically for small businesses, but really anybody that's trying to get a grasp on social media and just stay up to date with it. So yeah, follow me at Juliet Socially. That would mean the world to me.
Let me ask you one final question. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what do you envision? What is your dream scenario for Juliet's Finds?
So for Juliet's Finds, I hope that I can always leverage the influence that I've grown for Juliet's Finds to help other businesses I work for, and locally would just be the dream. I want to make the area I live in be just this mecca of, I don't know, tourism or just a really wealthy area, rich in art and culture that people want to come to, and it's all done through social media. And that's just a personal goal of mine, but I also want to help like literally anyone I can with their social media journey, just because it's offered me so much opportunity. And I hope if people have a glimpse of that opportunity, they just kind of follow it because it doesn't come knocking all the time.
See, that's the key. See, this is a key. I'm predicting that you're going to have that success, and it's all because it comes from otherness, like wanting to help other people, the goodness.
Yeah.
in your heart, and that translates into
I
success.
love that, Juliet. You're just such a bright light. I was just so thrilled to meet you at Posh Fest. You're kind, you're engaging, you're
So,
funny, you're adorable, beautiful. There was something about you, and I think that something about you is that thing that's making you just blow up. And people, on site, people love you. You're just kind and good, and it translates. So I just really,
thank
really just
you.
loved meeting you.
Well, keep it going, and we really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, we
Thank
may
you
be
so
checking
much.
on Juliet social.
We will.
Could use
We will. We
that.
may be,
This has been so much fun, and I love to work with you guys.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much.
much, darling.
All right. Well, thank you so much. You've been
Thank
awesome.
Thank you guys.
I don't know about you, but there's smoke coming out of my ears. I learned so much. My brain is still processing it even a few days later.
I really meant that Juliet just sort of has that thing, she's just really genuine, and it comes through. And I think that was the main takeaway for me, is that if you're, and posting constantly. She,
Right.
She just said, if you're not posting, you're doing it wrong. So I've been posting a lot more. I told you I had a couple, just quick little posts blow up. Because they were relevant to other people. One was about Goodwill pricing, and that just really resonated with some people. And then I thought the other part that she said, give things away free. And she didn't mean just like give away a free gift card, but give something that you have that's special to you that you can give to other people, knowledge, information, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do more of that on Instagram, Posh Pro Project, and I do have Posh Pro Project or Posh Pro _Megan on there. On TikTok, if it stays.
Are we
if
doing
it
TikTok?
stays, we're going to try to do some TikTok. And then, of course, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, there'll be more on YouTube. And also, of course, our rags2resale.com has all of our podcasts. PoshProProject.com has all of our education. So we're going to try to do in the footsteps of the great Juliet's Finds, we're going to try to do more of all of those things.
If you haven't seen enough or heard enough of us, what she's saying is, unfortunately, there's going to be more.
True. Yes. But they can look away.
That's
They
right.
don't- You
Look
don't,
away
You
if
don't
you
have
don't.
to follow.
You know.
We're asking you to, but you don't have to.
Right.
And then there is going to be a little bit more of us. We did tease it at the front end of Juliet's thing, but we're also going to be on Whatnot. I have shows lined up on, it's going to be called
Wednesdays.
Whatnot Wednesdays. So we're going to be over on Whatnot on Wednesdays. I've heard a lot about all of the applications, cool little gadgets and tools and things, and I've been playing around with them, and they really are very cool. Whatnot was obviously opened up on Discord and was started out as a live stream item. So Poshmark kind of back-ended onto live streams from the closet situation. So things are different on both apps.
Whatnot was built for this kind of thing, for the
Yeah.
live shows that we do, our Friday Bag Mom show, which we will never abandon Poshmark. We love them. They're great. But just as a business, it makes sense for us to diversify, right? Why not try and expand our universe a little bit? So
It would be awful if one or the other or something happened to any of the
Right, that too.
applications. And Whatnot has the video live stream recall of your purchases. There's an ease with giveaways. There's an ease with with shipping. There's the measurements and weights
Right.
and everything. So there's other things
we're
that
still
we're
learning, as you can
We
tell.
don't know. It could be awful. We have no
Right,
idea.
right.
So we're going to try that for a little while. And so check us out on both applications, Poshmark and Whatnot, and we'll tag it all here. But thank you guys so much for joining us for another successful Rags to
Right.
Resale podcast. Thanks to Juliet's Finds. Juliet is wonderful. Please check out Juliet socially and Juliet's Finds everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, julietsfinds.com. And Facebook.
Right.
Facebook, she does a big live show on Facebook, so please check her out. She's amazing, and she can only make you better. Keep reselling. Slow fashion, not fast fashion. And we will see you
Wednesday on Whatnot,
right.
Friday on Poshmark.
So weird. Yay!